Before we get into the video, I thought I'd just mention that we actually made it past the halfway point for our GoFundMe. We still have a long way to go, so if you can, head to the link in the description to either donate yourself, nothing is too small, or to share it with other people. Bills are looming and we're still actively trying to get out of here. Thanks everyone, and thanks for getting me to 500 subs. Now anyway, on with the video. Hey stars, Tiv here. So we've had quite a few of those fun Transformers collaborative figures now, haven't we? Whether it be Ectotron, Gigawatt, the Universal monsters like Frankentron and Draculus, Jurassic Park, or more recently we've had Party Wallop with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'd say we've really entered a bit of a renaissance when it comes to the Transformer crossover toy. But you know, what sort of crossover toys would I like to see? Well, let's jump right into this. I'm gonna be counting down my top 10 most wanted Transformers collab figures, with no real honorable mentions because any of those are probably figures that already exist, let's be honest. So without further ado, here we go, starting with number 10. Okay, now this first one is a bit silly. It's a collab with a public domain character, well, vehicle actually. I think it would be really fun to base a Transformer, maybe like a version of Heinrad from Beast Wars 2nd or something, on the Time Machine from H.G. Wells' classic story. I've always been a huge fan of Wells' works, and I've seen all the various creative interpretations of his Time Machine in the past, and I would just really love a Transformer that turns into it. Enough said for number 10 there. I mean, look at it. It's silly, it's goofy, but I mean, it's fun. And you know, when it comes to number 9, this one's like, you know, not really one I'm that invested in, but I know a lot of people would be into it, and I'd want to see certain characters remolded from it. And that's the Mach 5 from Speed Racer. Now this pick is a little biased because, like I said, I don't really care about Speed Racer. I think it'd be the ideal mold to make an animated Blur and an animated Cheetor from. Enough said on that, really. Alright, so for number 8, I feel like this is one that everyone and their cousin would want. I don't know why I use everyone and their cousin, I just do. But we were so teasingly close to this with that Code Red guy from the Stranger Things collab, and yet here we are without it still, which is massively disappointed, but the Mystery Machine. I'll always feel like the Mystery Machine is just a little bit better of an idea than just some random truck from a more recent Netflix fad. Yes, I said it. Stranger Things is a fad. I'm going to get crucified for saying that, but I've said it. Now, I feel like a Mystery Machine Transformer should be named Zoinks, and should have another Redico of Siege Ravage with him that's designed to look like Scooby. Kind of like the version of the dog Spot that's coming with that Target Optimus Prime. But yeah, come on, give me the Mystery Machine as a Transformer named Zoinks. Now, number 7 is another one that we've already gotten pretty close to with that canceled Colors G2 Grimlock that came out. We've gotten it a few times on the Digimon side, but I want to see a Metal Greymon Transformer that turns into robot mode that sort of looks like War Greymon, but not quite. I'd love to see an official Transformers and Digimon crossover. I know how unlikely that is considering Takara and Bandai and yada yada yada, but it would be cool! And I mean, in a way, both the Transformers and Digimon are digital life forms, so, you know, you know? You know. Do you know? I hope you know. Anyway, next one. Now, number 6, this is one that probably wouldn't happen because, again, toy rights are owned by Bandai, and you know how Bandai can be really defensive over their toy rights and being a little nervous to share them now and again. But I feel like a Kamen Rider collaborative figure would be really cool. I feel like if you're going to use just one bike or car from the Kamen Rider franchise, it has to be the OG's bike, the Cyclone. You can have it transform into a mix of Hongo's rider form and the Autovasion from Kamen Rider 5's. Make a dual reference to reference both the Showa and Heisei eras if you can only do one of them. But yeah, I mean, the Cyclone as... yeah, that would be fun. And for number 5 on the list, I've gone with Mega Man. Like, Mega Man and Transformers crossing over would just be really cool because, I mean, they're both really prominent 80s, well, late 80s for Mega Man, robot franchises. And, you know, keeping up with the trend of bikes, we could go into the X series with a Ride Chaser. Possibly even have him be a weaponizer designed to combine with an included X figure in robot mode. But if we wanted to go with the classic series, there's always the Rush Roadstar. Which would be kinda weird. Maybe he could be a triple changer. He's both Rush, a guy, and the car. Alright, and for number 4, here's one that I basically have no faith in because of how Microsoft's been treating the franchise for years now. But I would love to see a Halo and Transformers collab. Now, I'll be the first to acknowledge, the Halo series as it is right now isn't one where I think they could actually pull off a story crossover well. But casting our minds back to a time when, you know, around 3 and Reach, I think a Warthog version of Hound would have been a lot of fun. Have him team up with Chief and Cortana in an AU, it would be fun. Or a new guy who just happens to be a Warthog could work too. Now, number 3, this one's going to be really obvious if you know me. But for number 3, I'm going with Godzilla with Kuryu. Like I said, pure bias for me, but come on, if you're gonna make a Godzilla Transformer, best option is leader class, even if the scale will be way off. And then your options are either Mogura or a Mechagodzilla. So you might as well go big and go for one of the more heroic aligned Mechagodzillas, with my husband, Kuryu. Now on to our number 2, though. You might wonder what the number 2 pick is, considering, you know, we've gotten all the way up to Godzilla already. And, yeah. Well, let's go ahead and head into it.
Knight Rider, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist.
And for number 2, I'm saying we should get a Transformers Knight Rider collab. Let's face it, these two are late 80s, early 90s cornerstones as far as AI characters go. Do a 2-pack of Kit and Car as Transformers. They're some of the most famous talking cars ever. And you know, having them elevated to super robot life forms is a no-brainer. For Cars, you could even, you know, take inspiration from the version of him that was in the 2008 continuity, which I could talk about that all day. Either way, I'd recommend Super Pursuit Mode parts, maybe be a new weaponizer character or two that can upgrade either car. Sure, the show may have been a Hasselhoff vehicle, but all of us nerds know the real reason it was watched by anyone and is still fondly remembered today is because of Kit. Now, on to our number 1 pick. Okay, so my number 1 pick for the Transformers collaborative projects I want to see, it's so obvious. Power Rangers. I mean, bootleggers and customizers have been doing it ever since Power of the Primes Volcanicus. And you own both franchises now. How do we not have the fucking slam dunk that is the Dinobots reinterpreted into the Dino Megazord? Sure, Sludge is going to have to be a mammoth now, and Snarl's going to have to be a saber-toothed tiger. But we can cope. Come on, this would be such an awesome thing, man. But oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. The only one who gave a fuck about the Power Rangers franchise in Hasbro died and got replaced by Cox. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. Those are my top 10 picks for Transformers collaborative figures. What are yours? Let's talk about it down below in the comments. But I think that wraps up my thoughts here for now. If you like this vid, you know the button. And if you want to see more Transformers, Toku, and Mecha videos alongside a lot of gameplay live streams, subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. This has been Tiv, signing out. Okay, so the #1 pick for the Transformers Collaborative... Now number 8, I think... Oh god, my hair. Ah! That was terrifying. That's going in the bloopers. And here we go. Starting with number 10.